Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom Golden Disc Collection Autobot Jackpot and Autobot Sights. You can see him there in his car mode. Put that off to the side real quick and look at the box here. Yeah, you can see the box. Yes, he's got the golden disc thing, or at least part of one, because, well, yeah, they're going to do a whole thing with all the boxes coming together. And yeah, it's going to be a thing. You got the Kingdom logo, then what's in there, the Hasbro 8 Plus, Transformers, Takatomi. You got more of the golden disc up here with more logos. You got just kind of space on that side, authentic Transformers. You got more of the golden disc there. Got more copyrights and warnings and stuff on the bottom. And on the back, you have, of course, the good old product shots, including like the, there he is in the car and robot modes. And there's the weapon and warnings and all that stuff. Of course, comes with the instructions here. You can see that green, pretty much most Kingdom stuff. It's a repaint, of course, of Autobot Jazz from the Studio Series 86 line, and you can figure out from there. Of course, it comes with a repaint of Pterodactyl. I don't remember what the pterodactyl thing was called in the original release, but yeah. You got him. You got Jackpot here. Jackpot in a yellow and black car. You can see, yes, is very Porsche-like. You can be yellow and black with some orange windows and the silver bumpers, some orange headlights, little Autobot symbol picked out right there, and yeah, kind of orange back here on the bumper and stuff as well. You can see all that. Yeah, all that detail. You got clipped on wheels. On the other side, you can see some robot stuff. But yeah, rolls. He rolls decently. I believe this wheel has a bit of friction, so it doesn't roll as well, but it does roll. You got all that. And of course, you can take stuff like the gun here, for example, and just kind of peg it on the roof if you want, or whatever. That's the thing you can do if you want. And yeah, that's his car mode. Works pretty well. Again, it's this pre-paint of Jazz from Studio Series, and good thing. And of course, you got Sights. His little buddy. It was transforming weapon, because he was Jackpot was an action master, this is one heck of an obscure pull. 3 of the 4 releases that are coming in the Golden Disc collection are pretty obscure references, or somewhat obscure references. So this is kind of interesting that they're doing a action master, except he transforms now. You got this. You hit him with a weapon back, and then yeah, this little black and blue thing. You can see. I'm starting off with this mode right here. You can see black and blue, kind of some detailing right here. Some detailing right there on the head, I guess, although not picked out with any paint. Got little copyrights in there. Yeah. Got pretty straightforward little mode here. And yeah, it's the same thing as before with the whole thing. You got I guess you get this up and down here at the head. You got the wings can kind of open and close a bit, and the feet can move forward and back. And that's pretty much your articulation. He does, as you can see, stand pretty well. And there's your lot for that. Not a whole lot you can do here. I guess you can perch on top of the car if you want. Just boop, just perch on top of the car. No problems there, I guess. Not really held in place. So whoop, there he goes. Comparison with him, real quick. Here he is with Studio Series Jazz. You can see, yeah, same car, different colors. Yeah, same. Overall, just same model, just same. Really enough, actually, one of the same flaws. This this fender being really loose on my Jazz is kind of the same problem here. Same fender. It's not as loose, but it's the same issue. On mine also, unlike a lot of people, apparently a lot of people have been worried about this. Mine has no cracks on the windshield or anything. A lot of people are worried about the translucent plastic cracking. So far, mine has been fine. And I still think, actually, the Transformers fandom overall has been overblowing the problem of translucent plastic. It's more fragile than this kind of plastic, but it's still not as bad as people say it is. I'm going to go ahead and transform this guy real quick, and that's pretty easy. You just flip the feet up into here. You flip the head down like that. You take this thing here, the pole, and bring it down like that, and you take the wings and move them in. There's a little locking point, and there you go. You have an axe. And said axe comes with the effect part, which is two peg holes and a slot for the 2 pegs and a tab. And there you go. You put it on either wing, although you probably need to support the back of the wing when you do this, because otherwise it tends to fold in a bit. There you go. That's an axe with an effect part, and it's pretty straightforward. Transforming Jackpot here is the same as Studio Series Jazz. Go ahead and untab the doors on each side, untab those and bring them out like that, just like that. You go ahead and unpeg the rest of the windshield from the back here, or untab, I should say. Take the arms and fold them down a bit and rotate them around like so. Rotate those around. Take the legs and extend those out. And untab them. And they also tab in up here at the knees. There's a little slot for the tab in the knee. Go ahead and tab that in to somewhat lock into place, and take the foot and unfold it. And that's the bottom half of the robot pretty much done. Up here you need to go ahead and start untabbing the windshield and roof and stuff from the hood, which this tabs in a little too well in my opinion. It's a little too well. It's but it can come off. You just got to put some gentle pressure in the right spot, and there you go. It'll untab, and then you do that part. Go ahead right here and spin this red piece around 180. Like so. Then up here, you want to fold this part in. You want to fold that in on the hood. And you can see that you can fold that in on the hood, bring that all the way forward, so you can then take the head and bring that out and bring the whole chest down. And then at the last second, you need to take this and move this back a bit. You need to move this back so these tabs right here on the red thing can tab into this little groove here, the little grooves there. Tab that in, and the head's up and everything, and then bring the arms down, around. So the backpack here, of course, you take this part and bring this down and fold it in like that, and take the doors and fold those in and bring this down. This is backpack, and of course you take the fists, unfold those, rotate that to bicep, unfold and rotate it to bicep, and then bring that in, and there you go. There is Jackpot in his robot mode. Oh, actually, one last thing I forgot, which is, of course, take these fenders and move them down. There's this kind of supposed to be a soft locking point of sorts right about there. Totally forgot about that. My bad. Now he's in his robot mode for real. Although it looked fine before, but yeah, that's more correct. And yeah, in this mode, a lot more yellow pops up, particularly the legs and the shoulders and stuff. I think it looks good. I never had a Jackpot because that's a weirdly obscure. That is an obscure character to have, and I don't have him. But you know, he looks good overall. He looks good overall. Yeah, I think the color scheme looks really nice. There's a bit of red here, of course, on the torso. You can kind of see that a little bit. A lot more orange popping up in the knees, shins, and feet. And yeah, he's got his head. I'll get back to the head in a bit and whatnot. So overall, it looks pretty decent. A nice solid repaint of Jazz, actually. And yeah, the head, though, okay. So you can see that right there. That is misaligned. Right there. You can see two halves of the head are very misaligned. Mine is one of the better ones, believe it or not. Something happened at the factory or something where when they were assembling this thing, the heads all got misaligned. Apparently, so far, every single copy had a misaligned head. I saw someone did fix theirs. They tried to take it apart and repaint it because they scratched the paint, not surprising, ungluing it. But yeah, it's just apparently just completely misaligned all the way through. They did something to realign theirs. I don't know exactly what they did, but if it wasn't for that, it would look great. But the problem is, yeah, you got that misalignment. Again, mine is one of the better ones, but it's still misaligned because it's really nice with the orange visor and kind of almost a Ferrari Testarossa style head. Like the back half of his head looks like Ferrari. That looks nice. But yeah, beyond that, you of course got the Autobot symbol and the silver bumper and still, again, the red and the yellow and all that stuff. And again, backpack as usual for a toy like this. Yeah. Do like him overall, other than the head thing. That's the big thing, is like if that head bothers you a lot. Of course, he's got his blue gun, which you can just plug into that hand, and he's got his, I guess, his axe, which you can peg into this hand or whatever, however you want to do it. And, you know, he has his weapons and stuff. It's forward heavy with the axe in his hand. Yeah, again, looks really good. Overall, I think just a really nice repaint of Jazz into a kind of obscure character. But Articulation, which I'm going to get into real quick, his head is on a ball joint, as you saw earlier. Ball joints are left and right. You got up and down. You got a lot of waggle. It's a really, really nice ball joint. It's a shame that there was a manufacturing error. You got shoulders, we can go all the way around. You got the outward. They got a little bit of more there thanks to the transformation hinge. You got a bicep swivel. Elbows bend about 90 degrees. No wrist swivel, but they can go inward from transformation if you need that for whatever. He does have a waist swivel, which, you know, bangs in the backpack a little bit, but that also lifts out of the way if you needed to. So yeah, you do have a full waist swivel there. Hips can go forward about that far, back about that far, outward about that far. You got a thigh rotation. Knees, well, supposed to have about that much range, although if you untab it, you can get even more range, somewhat, although it's again, you get a weird looking knee if you do that, but you can do it if you need it for whatever reason. But yeah, it's supposed to stay tabbed in, although again, mine doesn't tab in super well. And the feet, again, tilts about that far, and you got a toe joint that goes down, and that's pretty much Articulation. A couple other things, again, like I said, this fender is a little loose on mine, just like my Jazz, but not as bad. Once again, these knees don't tab in super solid. They're like tabbing okay, but once you start bending them a bit, it's really easy to pop them out. But again, not as bad as my Jazz. My Jazz seems to have a lot more problems than this guy does, other than the head thing. So, yeah, I also got a bit of a paint scratch right there on my the bumper. You can see there's a little bit dotted yellow. I'm not sure if it's a paint scratch or excess paint. I'm afraid to find out. But yeah, looks nice and decent posability and all that stuff. Well, again, the head is the problem. So a real quick comparison, though. Here he is with Studio Series Jazz. You can see, Jazz here. You know, decent mold overall. And it's a really good mold, and I think Jackpot here really carries it pretty well for the most part. His head is slightly more posable than Jazz's because of the shape of it and whatnot, and the fact it kind of sits a little higher. So you got that whole thing. And of course, the good old classic, here he is with Earthrise Prime, who's taller. But yeah. Jackpot. Should you get Jackpot? Well, he's pretty good. Again, if you really like the Jazz mold, it's a good mold overall. The problem, of course, being the head. If the head really bothers you, now don't bother. Every single one of them like this, you're going to have to fix it or possibly wait for a third party to come out with replacement heads or whatever. It's not great. The weapon here, this extra weapon, pretty nice. Not sure about this. I know some people are freaking out about the plasticizers or whatever using this, causing us to stick to other paint, but I haven't had problems so far. But worst comes to worst, you can just always toss it in a box or somewhere. But this is a nice little thing. It's a decent little weapon. However you want to use it, it's a decent little weapon. He's about what? I think he's $30 because of the extra dude. Yeah, the extra guy, I believe, makes him $30 or so. But yeah, he's an obscure repaint of an obscure character. The Action Master. If you're into obscure characters and stuff, you might like this guy. If you like the mold, you might like this guy. But at the same time, every single one of them has this problem with the head. And I believe it's Amazon/Hasbro Pulse exclusive as of now. No, it wasn't. It's not an exclusive. Never mind. But a weird limited series. He's just kind of a weird, obscure character. If you're not into obscure stuff, you might consider passing on this one. I don't know. It is part of a collection of things which are coming out over the course of the next few months. So there is that, and he's nice. It just is the biggest problem simply is the head, which if you can live with that, it's a good figure. But if you can't, he's skipping it. So that's it, I guess. Yeah. I hope you found this form entertaining. Hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Twitter. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1. Check out my Patreon, my coffee. And also, yes, I do have a new camera here. Hopefully this is working out very well because I'd really like to be able to record like this. And eventually with this camera, possibly once I revise my pipeline, but might be able to actually release 4K video. That's it. So I'll see you next time with another video review.